morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to see you all. And today I'm going to talk about the quantum mechanical scenario of the origin, evolution, and existence of macroscopic and large-scale coherent integration of quantum mechanical structures into the cells and different types of species. It's a wonderful thing to remember that nothing was there when the Earth was moving into the orbit as a globule of cloud of highly energetic system of particles. From there we have condensed and we have taken the shape into this. The Mother Earth is holding us around with a lot of gases and of course those solidified elements we have inside and on the crust of the Earth. 4.2 billion years back, and maybe a little time later, the period which continued towards today. So we have witnessed theoretic transformation by which we are all here today. And the point which I want to bring out is related to what would have happened sometime, maybe 3 billion years to 4 billion years back. That relates to the absolute coherence of the fundamental process of energy which is existing in cluster of particles, cluster of atoms, cluster of molecules, and a cluster of integrated systems formed by the molecules. The quantum coherence, which people thought it would exist only in localized regions, it is going far beyond those localized levels. I have seen through the equations, and it goes to much beyond macroscopic levels and into real world levels, which has yielded such a beautiful result, which you have seen, the quantum states plotted. I could bring out the feather of a peacock, my fascination from the childhood throughout ever, because I like the structure and the harmony which is living inside the patterns of those colors a painter. Not only those patterns, I have seen in my computer the fish getting evolved. So to say, having seen such formations, I would like to invite you to my rest of the talk, which may use, of course, certain terms which people have marked and consciously created certain sense about it. As far as I am concerned, sense and then realizations and the cognizance and the consciousness and the thought process, they are all a manifestation of certain condensation and the dynamics with which things are moving. Correlating things and expressing it through the audio or the visual medium, it is a system which is doing. And I am explaining there some of the intelligence. So you may really hear a word like a creator. It doesn't mean that somebody has come and created, because I have seen everything through my equations. Logic over billions and billion states logic. It creates many things in the world. So if I use the word create, does not mean that it is alluding to any category of people, scientific or the non-scientific for that matter. It all has been explained through the equations to me. So apart from the minimal controversies of segregation of 20th century, this is a biologist, this is a physicist, and this is a chemist. I would like to invite the people to hear that we have to go far beyond the scope of identifying the chemical bonds forming is making only the chemistry, or the structure and dynamics of atoms and its subatomic models are creating the physics. And all these things plugged together, we have seen on Earth formations of macroscopic and large-scale coherent integrations. That is actually, so to say, a biology as far as I am concerned. So to say, they are far apart from each other. We have to agree to the point that we have to have a coherent, unified biology. or we have to have a coherent, unified outlook over the energy percolation which is taking place. That's what I'm talking to you all today. And thank you for inviting me to speak this. Thank you.
Well, as far as life is concerned, it has got definite properties, and it is a large-scale conglomeration of multiple molecules into an ordered, highly coherent integration of billions and billions and billions of molecules which happen to be in a spectrum, producing absolutely integrated performance as a system for a long period of time and then decays off. So, while talking about life, till now we had a set of respect to say that we have to be philosophical, we have to be conscious, and we have to be so many things. But having met with or having seen that it's purely an integral of molecular transformations which is taking place, and having seen that large-scale dynamics is producing a fish by itself, large-scale dynamics in multi-dimensions using biogenetic functions, producing wings of the birds, and probably a tortoise is made by oscillating large-scale energy. It spreads into and it finalizes itself into, and the parameters are tuned into that. So the auto-tuning and diversification, which has produced large-scale amount of species, they are all an integrated, coherent system. So thinking about the awareness, consciousness, identity, it looks to be a puzzle, but in total abstract, or abstracting it, the whole thing into putting it into an abstraction, it is actually a condensation of the coherence which has happened in the past. So the performance is actually a transformational matrix of the coherence what is taking place. And the intelligence is an expression of another transformation of this coherent system which has transformed into a brain. Every cell contributed to the creation of the brain, but today conglomerate of cells are under the control of the so-called brain system. And brain system is actually a molecular condensation of the growth path, and the logic which is working in that has produced the consciousness, and intelligence is a derivative of it, and that intelligence through the sensor system which has been built into the species is capable of identifying, again correlating, again thinking. So what happened finally? Autonomous systems were working in the flies and maybe birds and then elephants, and finally through the human being it started exhibiting its power on the externals. Again, the process of understanding is going on. So the consciousness is a chemical process that has been proven to some extent, but at the same time the chemical process is only an expression of quantum mechanical diversification and dancing. And it's a coherent dancing. Wonderful. And when we realize it, enormous amount of joy comes to the mind. Oh, this is all you are. Today I was actually observing the skill of a fly which got into my kitchen while I was making a cup of tea. It went into the bottom of a vessel which was there. I thought I will close it there and ask my helper to clean it later and trap it there. By the time the lid approached, it detected it and through a very low-level slit which was created because of the asymmetry of the lid which I was carrying axially into the vessel. So that slant and the gap it made use of and flew off. Incredible intelligence it has shown, and the size of that head is only 1 mm into 1 mm into 1 mm. Okay, 1 cubic millimeter inside the whole glittering head made that calculation and went off. It is quantum mechanics. It is biology. It is absolutely fascinating chemistry. So chemistry people will say it is actually the biochemistry. And biology people will say it is because of the structure of the head and structure of the body. It all happens. And now it is time for us to go and find out what fundamentally made it. It was made the surge of the energy and a conducive atmosphere about 4.2 billion years back for a particular transformation from multiple atoms involving the basic bonding capabilities of probably the mirroring capabilities available in a set of atoms around carbon, made this system to evolve, emanate, evolve, stabilize, diversify, and went on. And every creature on earth has been formed because of the biogenetic functions and its energy diversification scheme. And multiple numbers, numerous unseen forms were on the earth where fossils are not available. And they all tried to survive along with the environment. But many of the creations of this fundamental energy diversification were not suitable enough practically at the macroscopic or at large scale level to interact with the environment and survive through. So we have seen a large scale filter which was working on this emanation, and today we have only this much. If we preserve our forest for a much longer time, I am sure over a period of another 100,000 years, we will be able to generate species by natural evolution. If you are very specific about natural evolution, we are not interested in artificial evolution. That can be started today. That is the point. That is the point which I want to anchor. So, everything from the consciousness, intelligence, towards the brain, and the architecture of the proteins, and the multiplicity of the proteins, and then protein derivatives. All these things are rhythmic dancing of a particular philosophy, and its massive integration into millions, billions, and billions and billions of systems. And integration is so much deeply in that domain, where organs can be integrated with larger body, and one body can be integrated with another body. This process went on, and we have got different types of animals, birds, and other things today. They are not a single system. They were integrations of many things happened in the past. It was actually a coordinated merging of many things. And today, it almost cleaned up because of the environmental filter. And Charles Darwin was right to tell that environmental filter was actually the adaptive existence of the species. And it gives a glittering fortune. It gives a glittering futuristic domain for us to investigate, enjoy, create, and support ourselves for a long-term existence on Earth. And it is quite fascinating. So all the biologists, all the chemists, and all the physicists, and all the other engineers who would like to look into, it is a time for hand-to-hand threading. And we all will work together to create the first artificial living being, not far away from today. It's a wonderful world. And we are the product of it. It gives enormous amount of joy to say that, yes, we all are the same, we all belong to each other, and we have got different forms. That's a great feeling. And I am sure with this discoveries I have in my computers, I am sure that there are guys existing in different planets at different stars or stellar domains or the galaxies which may exist far away from us. There are potential chances of species existing. Maybe a little bit of change because of the gravitational configurations which they may have, and maybe the elemental configurations of probably hyperacidic and hyperalkaline type of nature which they have. It is not necessary to have an air to survive a species. There are different types of species which could be formed. It need not be actually breathing the air, but it's better to have because high energy transference can take place if such gaseous systems are there. So any interactive gaseous system, of course, actually the oxygen is the best one, I agree. But there could be other elements also could be slowly interacting, and there could be living mechanisms which may live over 1,000 years. That means taking a measurement system of Earth moving around the sun as one of the time measurements. Otherwise, time measurements of talking years, it doesn't have any meaning. So conglomerates of large-scale integration of cellular stable dynamism and then multifunctional existence is happening at different parts of the universe. It is happening, there's no doubt about it. And we can be proud in this 21st century. We are able to detect it, not able to see and then shake hands with them, but it is true, it is going to exist. It's a quantum mechanical phenomenon. So chemistry is quantum mechanical, the biology is quantum mechanical, physics is quantum mechanical. And quantum mechanics itself is another puzzle still at different situations I have found, but it explains many of the things, and let us be happy with it. So it's a new era of understanding everything in the common realm. And we know life, and we are confident of dealing with it, and it can be utilized for the benefits and prospectiveness and of good existence of humankind, along with the birds, flies, butterflies, fishes, animals. All of them, they came along with us. They are our brothers and sisters. And we must love them. And every tree, it loves us. And we need to love them back. But for maybe using it for the food requirements. Let's have a glorious way of living on the earth. It is a fantastic place. Thank you very much. I wish all of you to share the joy of thinking in this way. Shortly, maybe in 2014 or 2015, I will be able to release the findings, subtle findings of origin of life, and then subtle findings of the dynamics of formation of different species and the evolution, the dynamic quantum mechanical evolution which has taken place. And I will demonstrate, definitely, skeptic people are more than the accepting people, and the theories are meant for the skeptic people to feed them up. We will show in the computer that the energy, more energy is given to a system, it produces fish. Less energy is given, it will produce something else. This is the process which went on. Large-scale integration of the genetic material is there in the equations. They all will oscillate. They all will provide the shapes. And of course, filling of the shape is done by standard module, that is a cell. And cell itself was formed because of this quantum mechanical phenomenon. So in that way, it's a highly wonderful world and most enjoyable phenomenon. There's every aspect of it, once you know, it gives a joy. Thank you very much. Let's look forward to that era.